What's going on? It's Big Guns and Pistols. I'm back with another one. I noticed that I got more subscribers on the channel, so if you're new here, welcome. What I do want to tell you guys is that I do have another YouTube channel, and the link to that YouTube channel is in the description of this video. The reason I have it there is because that channel I'm going to be doing a lot of things on. Many of my other channels are channels where I pay more attention to and I put a lot more effort into those channels than I do this one. So you guys should go ahead and click on that link if you're interested in seeing what I have on my other YouTube channels. As I said before, I'm a man of many different things, and I do want to get into different things and talk about different things. All right, so right now we got a couple things on the table. Right now, of course, you notice my 308 Aero Precision M5 build along with my 19X. And I do have a extended magazine for both of them. The 33 round magazine for the Glock, of course, and then this is a 25 round magazine for my 308/7.62 by 51 caliber. Now, the reason for this video, many people seem to have this idea in their heads of why would a civilian need firepower of that magnitude? Now, my videos are not scripted. When I speak, I'm speaking straight from the heart and mind. So I will give you guys some reasons on why I have what I have. And the first thing I'll say is this. This was one of my last builds. I did build a 10.5-inch 5.56 AR, and I always wanted to have the 308 caliber a part of my weaponry. So that's what pretty much inspired me to get this 308 build. Now, one thing about this is when you have the 308 caliber, it's a lot more powerful than the 7.62 by 39 AK round. It's a lot more powerful than the 5.56 223 AR round. Not just that, but it packs a heavier punch. Not just that, but I'm able to reach out a little further, which is the reason for this scope that you see. That's a Swamp Fox scope that you see there. So I'm able to get out further. I'm able to punch harder, if you know what I mean, more penetration power. So that's one of the reasons that I wanted to have this. And I do have the bipod. So again, this is a 1x10 scope, a 1:10 with my bipod in case I want to get down and I want to reach out pretty far with some stability, with some accuracy. So that's one of the reasons that I got this. Not just that, but I can use it for other things as well. It's a battle rifle. Great parts, 4150 chrome moly vanadium steel barrel. I forget what that barrel is treated with. I believe it's black nitride, something like that. Forged upper and lower as it should be. I do have a Velocity 3-pound single stage trigger in there. I don't really like double stages, although I may be getting into some of those a little later, but I don't really like double stage triggers. I went over this bad boy before. I will post that video in the description as well as at the end of the video. Along with that, I do have the ambidextrous selector switch. Many people have this idea, like I said before, why do Americans need firepower like that? You don't need that. You don't need those type of weapons. You don't need that type of weaponry. And for me, the thing is, it's important for a people of a nation to be as armed as can be. When you look around the world and you look at different situations, which most people don't pay attention to, you will see exactly what happens to a people who are disarmed. There's a lot of Americans, unfortunately, they're very ignorant people. they're very mindless people. Now, of course, I'm not saying all, but there is a very sizable portion of people, they don't know anything about history. And I'm not even talking about history that's far back. I'm talking about history in the past 10 years. You do not look at Haiti. When you look at Haiti, the island, it's a failed state. It's pretty much a world without rule of law. No emergency services. The gangs and thugs have pretty much taken over. The government has pretty much abandoned the people. The people are at the mercy of the gangs and thugs. And I just don't want to be one of those people who I don't have a fighting chance. If you look up some videos of places like Haiti and some other places, you will see exactly why it's necessary for people to be able to bear arms. Not just that, a couple weeks ago, I was looking at the Holocaust. Many of you are familiar with the Holocaust and what took place in Germany. I would have to imagine that things would have been a lot different had those people have been able to bear arms. I think things would have been a lot different had those people had the mentality of self-defense versus not having it. And that's another thing I'll mention. A lot of people that I see across the world, even here in the United States, they don't even have the mentality of self-defense. So even if they are able to bear arms, if they are able to get and obtain weaponry, they neglect it because to them, as I've said before, self-defense is an afterthought, if it's a thought at all. You have to have the mentality of don't tread on me. You have to have the mentality. It has to be within your attitude of defending yourself, protecting your family, protecting your loved ones. Because unfortunately, I've seen people who try to protect themselves and their loved ones, but they don't know how. They're very insufficient. I've seen situations where men were attacked and they don't know how to protect themselves because it's not in them. This is something that really has to be in you. This has been in me since a teenager, 15, 16 years old. You have a lot of people who I've seen, Americans, you don't need that. Civilians don't need that. See, you don't know what you're gonna need until you need it. Learn from history. Look at history. It's imperative for the people to be able to keep and bear arms. And then here you see the side pistol. And I just have this here just because many of you know when you have your primary weapon. Now, I don't know if some of you guys, if you have the hip holster or the leg holster, I don't know how you do it, but soon I'm gonna be getting me a leg holster. This here packs a serious punch. This here is what I would call some pretty decent, some pretty good firepower. Because if we want to step it up, we can step it up over the AK round, the 7.62 by 39. So let's take a look at some of this ammunition. So we got this round here. This is a 308 cartridge. It is a hollow point, if you can see that. Very powerful round. And what I'll do is I'll grab a 223-556 size round and I'll compare the two and show you guys. But that's a very large round. They're expensive, but it's worth it. It's a lot more expensive than buying the AK round or the AR round. So let's take a look at that AR round. So get a good look at that. On the left, we have the 62 grain 5.56 round. And then on the right, we have our 308 cartridge. A lot bigger. A lot more size. Just a larger cartridge. A larger round, a heavier round, a more powerful round, of course. Now let's compare it to the AK round. Get a good look at that. We got the 7.62 39 on the left. And then we got our 308 caliber on the right. Still a lot larger. I believe this is 122 grain. And I think these are 100 and I forget what they are, but very powerful. But the point is, there's just things that you're gonna need that you don't even know that you're gonna need, that you may not even understand that you're gonna need. But check this out. You gotta remember also, when it comes to stuff like this and getting into stuff like this, it's never gonna be the majority. This is too much for most people. Most people don't need this. Most people don't even know what the hell to do with an AR, let alone something like this. This is for people like myself who are really deep into this, who know what to do with this, who know when to use this, who know when to deploy this. Very nice weaponry here. And of course I got the pistol. All of your firearms have to be thought out. Every piece on this firearm was thought out from front to back. The pistols are more simple. Make sure you get a light on your firearm. You see up there, I have the Olight. That's a 2000 lumen weapon light from Olight. I did research on every part because every part serves a purpose. I did a lot of research on the scope. When I'm ready to use the scope, I need the scope to do for me what I need it to do for me. The charging handle, the selector switch, everything serves a part. The bipod, as I mentioned earlier in the video, this is set up the way I need it to be set up for my frame. You have to customize your firearms to you. If you notice, I have the QD sling attachment up front and the back. There's some here as well. But you have to customize your firearm to where it's comfortable for you, so that when you're using it, you can know exactly what to do. It fits you perfectly. That's pretty much what I wanted to talk about in this video. But you better hope that you're never in a situation to where you would need to use this, you know, because if you are, then it's real bad. It's real bad. Last form of defense. This is Big Guns and Pistols. Peace.